Hello folks and welcome to Action Angling. It's been a little while since I produced a video. I was having some computer problems and I did a big unboxing video, recorded everything, and then ended up losing all the footage in the process of uploading it to the computer. So sorry about that, but today I'm going to show you what I got later on in the video. I'm going to be doing some trout fishing. I'll be showing you two different techniques of how to fish these trout. Basically just hopping between culverts in the county because that's the only option to fish right now. And one of the techniques will be float fishing, and the other one will just be free lining for these trout at these culverts and concessions. I'll be using my new Raptor Ultralight, which I will show you when we get into the equipment portion of the video. But for now, let's go fishing. We'll see you at the spot. So first off, let's talk about this brand new rod I just got from Eurofishing.ca. The Raptor SX area rod, ultralight, 5'5", super light. It's specifically designed for trout fishing on small streams like this, so just absolutely perfect. Got it teamed up with just an ultralight Shimano Sahara. This is the culvert I'll be fishing first. I'll be hitting a couple of different spots today. Don't have a whole day. Actually, I only have a couple hours to fish. The one good thing about trout fishing is either they're there or they're not, so it's quick, bing bing. I'll be doing all catch and release today because I caught a bunch yesterday, unless one happens to swallow the hook. But yeah, there's a couple of nice little holes here. The best hole is down there where that log jam is, but we're going to float this one first, where it kind of bends in the creek there. And just the float setup at this particular spot, unless I hit the culvert afterwards. So yeah, running 6-pound main line and then 4-pound fluorocarbon. Number one, because fluorocarbon's, less visible, obviously, and also if you get snagged up in there, you're only going to break your hook off more than likely, rather than your whole float setup. I'm just going to put a little piece of worm on this number 8 hook. Don't need much for these guys. You just want it to hang off of there just a little bit. Don't ball it up too much. And short lead, obviously, because it's not very deep. We're just going to drift that in there where it's shady. They're probably hiding out. Go on down here. Nice little landing. Somebody cleared this out this year. I'm guessing probably to fish. And works out real good for access, but fortunately the fish see you coming a mile away, so if they're anywhere, they're going to be right in that jam. It's super clear today, clearer than yesterday. And you don't want to just let your float go right into the log jam. Sometimes you'll have to bounce that bait in, basically manually. Oh, I just had a bite. He didn't take it. So there is a fish in there. And so far I've never caught a chub minnow here or anything else besides brook trout. So it's a good spot in that sense. Might have to shorten my lead again. Make sure it swings under there because I think it's catching bottom. And it's not really drifting into there. It's funny because I caught fish here yesterday. I didn't think they would actually be in the same spot today. But you just never know. There's fish moving through these creeks all the time. The bobber's gonna pretty much drag your bait where you want it to go. You want it to swing in under the log jams. That's almost definitely where they're gonna be. Okay, so first time around I used a worm. I just changed my hook, or put a new one on. This time I'm going to try a chunk of shrimp. Give them something different to look at, and also it drifts a little bit differently. There's one. There's one. That took a while. Oh yeah. It's just a little specky, but man, do they ever fight. Look at this thing go. Boy, howdy. Did that rod ever handle it well? Beautiful. Beautiful specimen. Look at that guy right there. He's only about probably 8 inches. But beautiful little speck. I think that's the one that bit me right away. Should I get hooked good on that little hook? Sweet. Alright. Bye, bud. And off he went. He actually went under here now. He's got a new hiding spot. Okay, so here's method 2. If you want to fish inside the actual culvert, what we got going on here is my shorter rod, because I don't really need a long rod for this at all. 4-pound mainline, 4-pound fluorocarbon, chain swivel, and a swivel of some sort helps keep your line from twisting all up. You're letting it free line in there. And I got a piece of shrimp on a number 8 hook. So what we're going to do is toss it in there as far as we can. By the way, I've never caught a fish out of this actual culvert, so I don't see it happening today, but it's always worth a try. Toss it in there a little bit, and you're just going to give it slack so it drifts through there. And yes, you get snags sometimes. A lot of fish tend to swallow the hook when you do it this way. What is going on? What? Yeah, okay, I'm snagged. There's obviously branches and stuff get caught inside of these culverts. Alright, so here's the next culvert. It's actually right next to the highway. Very small stream. But, caught some fish here. I'm gonna throw it in there. There's a log across, unfortunately. I'm gonna throw it in there as far as I can and let it go. Because this culvert narrows so much, there's a ton of current going through it. It's not very deep, not right here anyway, but definitely could be holding fish. I'm just gonna let it drift. And it's gonna drift really fast in this culvert. And actually, if you don't watch, you'll lose all your line going through this. But culvert is huge and has lots of potential to be holding fish all the way down. Alright, so what we got here is the deepest culvert around. And I actually have not float fished it yet this year, but I've been dying to get one in under there. And let that drift, and hopefully it stays where I can see it. Got one. Didn't even know he was on there. The wee little guy. Beautiful colors. I love when they have that orange belly on them. Beautiful little specimen there. So he swallowed the hook, so I don't know, I'm gonna let him keep it, I think. Maybe I'll just take him home. Yeah, I'll just take him home. I don't have a limit in my freezer. Oh, actually, you know what? It'll be okay. Hook just popped out. Should be okay. Swimming off pretty strong there. Yeah, there he goes. Alright. Let's try this one. This one I've never caught a trout at, but you never know. Caught some downstream. Got enough flow and it's cold enough to hold them. Nice fish. Cool. Big ass chub. There we go. Yeah, that's what I've got here before. Those chubs. Well, folks, we're back at home. You already saw the Rapture SX area ultralight trout rod, which is specifically designed for trout, and it worked very well, as you saw today. Got a couple of fish. Wasn't very good action, but that's the deal with there being no access to anything else. These spots are getting hit really hard right now. And not to mention it gets better in the summertime anyway, because they actually crave the shade in the summer. But here's another thing that I got from my last package from Miro Fishing. It's a Rapture X-Ray finesse and tube rod. But yeah, nice foam handle, nice grips, these elongated guides. I think it's going to work really great for drop shotting and general spinning rod use. Oh yeah, 6'7", there it is. Power, medium, sorry, yeah, power is medium and the action is extra fast. You can get any kind you like though, any kind of action, any size, on Eurofishing.ca's website. And here is some other stuff. Okay, first off, here we are, Rapture Creature Dancers. These are different sizes. So here's a rainbow trout colored one. I really like that one. Smaller size, so that would be more like a pike lure, or if you were to fish muskie right at opening day, probably be a better size. A couple more of the small ones here. Then we got the big guys, black and orange, my favorite color. These things work excellent as far as action goes. Never actually caught. I caught pike on the smaller ones in Alberta, but yeah, I have not caught a muskie on one yet because I haven't muskie fished barely more than once a year. Hopefully that changes this year. Got some boat launches opening up on the weekend, I heard. So yeah, by the time muskie opener comes, hopefully we can get out there. We got some carp stuff, we got some bass stuff in here. Another big old box from Euro Fishing. These guys here specifically, anyway, are new to Euro Fishing this year. I mean, he's always been able to get them, but I think now he's actually carrying them. These are little swim baits, twin tail minnows, drop shot baits, which will go great in the drop shot rod I got. You could drop shot those too, but I'd probably run some sort of a different rig with those. These Rapture fish fries. If you watched any of my bass fishing videos last year, you know I caught a lot of freaking bass on those. The majority of bass I caught last year were on those, or the Rapture wacky worms, of course, which perform like a Senko for way less money. Very super soft plastic, really good action on those. Some other newbies, tube jigs, or as Rapture Medusas they're called, a few different colors. I ordered those. Obviously tube jigs are great for bass, and I'm going to be using those for Lake Erie smallmouth this year. And here's some other guys, drop shot baits, or you can throw them on a little jig head. Rapture shakers, 2.7 inch, a couple of different colors here, but yeah, those bad boys would be great. Or you could just use them under a float probably and drift them for trout or whatever. Under carp stuff, Maros Mix pop-up pellets, strawberry flavor. Those dudes float. You can surface fish them. You can run them on a hair rig. You just put them on a hook. Do whatever you like with them. They catch carp. They float. Rapture bread ball, or sorry, Maros Mix bread balls, of course. I believe they've stopped making those now, but he might have some left at Euro Fishing from last year's stock. You'd have to ask Nikolai at Eurofishing.ca if he's got any left. But if he doesn't have any left, here's what you can get. The Maros Mix Bread Ball Maker. And this is a brand new thing. Got some pieces falling out of there. But I don't know if you can see the package or not, but what you do is you jam it into your bun or your piece of bread between the two fittings, and it'll make your bread balls for you. Now this is going to actually work out more cost efficient than buying the pre-made bread balls, because you can just make them limitlessly from a loaf of bread and dip them in flavor, run them on a hair rig like it's shown. You can run a band through them on the hook. That's my favorite way to do it. You can put them right on the hook too, obviously. And yeah, lots of different ways to rig that. Those are going to really work. Like, this is going to be a really handy tool to have in the summertime, especially for creek carp, but for bigger carp too, because if you want a bigger bait, you just stack them up like that. And different size pieces come with this. You can make all sorts of different size bread balls. Here's the smallest one, so you can make really, really tiny bread balls if you want, or much bigger ones. It's set up with the bigger piece right now. Support small business, and he is a small business. He is a Canadian business, even though stuff is imported from mostly Italy. Carries carp stuff, bass stuff, pipe stuff, musky equipment, as you saw. Anything you could possibly need, you can get from Eurofishing.ca. Talk to Nikolai there, and he'll show you the catalogs, and anything you could possibly want, he can get. It may take a little time if he doesn't have it currently in stock, but he will get it to you, and it will be a really decent price, and it'll be an excellent product. Anyways, thank you very much for tuning in. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and hit all of your friends that don't do the same with the 6-foot pole. We'll see you next time. Chop, chop.
No.